messed up. Look at that. Howdy, 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 howdy. Still doing things. Give me a second. Guess we can look at that. That. Good. Not gonna work. Wish I could turn that on real quick. Idiot, not give me a hotkey. Can I hotkey it? No, you can't hotkey it. Because I can totally do this. Oh, everything's all messed up too. I need to work on this. I think I know why things are messed up though. That's always helpful. Oh, I thought I did. I mean, that works, but that's not where I have it. Why is it like this? Good? Yeah. The camera's not good, but we're good. There you go. It'll work. I mean, that works. So used to, I like having the background when I'm just in this screen, right? Well, that's even more frustrating because I do that. Oh, weird. 3 frames things for me too. Cease the metal? Yeah, well, he agreed, but it didn't work. Interesting. Hotkeys wrong or something? That's fun. Yeah, that's more what I want. Plus, I'm a little bit more groovy. I was playing a significant amount of Dark Tide earlier. That requires the metal. This is good. All right. I have my coffee, at least some coffee. And we had a few things. Oh, is that the only one I ended up with? I thought I... no, I did. It just didn't... Okay. Because there's a whole thread of people's projects we can look at. That I'm kind of curious too. Ah, that is a nice tip. Okay, that one worked. Okay, now it worked. Is that it though? I probably got myself lost in the weeds, didn't I? Sounds like me. Yeah, we can do it that way, huh? Oh, there's gonna be some venting today, I think, too. It's a little overdue. I think, let me see. Open the channel, because I think I'm a little late on this stream, and then I wasn't streaming there for a bit, except for the wonderful new To Walk with Giants podcast I'm hosting with Laguna Muta. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, been 8 days. Okay, so it was last Wednesday. I did one of these. Okay, that sounds about right. Okay, I guess that works. This is a little. I don't know. I don't know what I think about this track yet. I guess we'll do that too, won't we? I think I want to chill, then I want to vent, maybe, and then we'll get to maybe some work that needs to be done. This is easy work, but shit that needs to be done. I do want to chill, have some more coffee. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this track. The Western stuff's good. Okay, yeah, we can go with that. Want some high energy, just not insanity like a lot of the metal tracks I have. I'm gonna have to find that too. I don't know where that ended up. Okay. There. Good stuff. Alright. So I guess I can catch folks up on what I've been up to. Been getting a little bit. I want to use like people be I've been grinding. You know, it feels like that. There's a lot of friction, right? But trying to find a new place to work, it's been rough. This is the title of today's stream, right? Patience is key. I'm trying to be patient because I'm hoping the right thing will present itself if I am. But there may be no right thing. So patience is rough that way. It's like, well, are you making the right choice, or should you just bite the bullet? And so I'm taking as much time as I can before I have to bite the bullet and just not enjoy life for a while to make money, which is shitty. It makes, you know, I want work I can, without trying to trick myself, take pride in. Or can find at least some kind of benefit, whether it's exercise or networking, or, you know, something outside of the numerics. But sooner or later, the numbers will win. So I'm just hoping. A few of the opportunities that I've come across and have tried to get may not have existed. I don't know. Didn't get back to me, so that's how it goes. Um, so that's been frustrating. Part of that grinding, right? So that's been the big one, and it's been the big one for, see, end of September, all of October, this half of this month. So about 2 months now. It's not the most enjoyable thing. Goes into the fact that I had been saving significantly so I could finish out the Jack 4 campaign, put that behind me, and maybe allow that to do something again. But I needed that to pay property taxes now, which is great, and propane, which is fun. Stuff I would have, taken my check anyway at my last gig, but 2 weeks, big whoop, and then another 2 weeks and to be back, right? That's not what it is now. It sucks. I really appreciated being able to save that much. It saved my butt now, but it's frustrating that the effort I put towards that had to go towards survival instead. That's very frustrating. I would really like to get Jack 4 off my shoulders. That's not to say there are things that I can do right now that are or that I can't do right now that aren't being done. I mean, there's some things I can't do, but there are some things I can do that I just have not been doing either. I cleaned the Jack 4 figures, God, was a month and a half ago, something like that, at least. They just need to be primed, but I'm trying to figure out how I want to prime them. I can do it how I do canvases and how I've done the last few of my miniatures, which is with, believe it or not, house paint, house paint primer. I'm just a little worried that the detail on these figures is not recessed enough to actually take that primer, so it'd be better to do really thin layers of spray paint, which I don't have. I've got what was a side gig. It's now my primary gig at the moment, where I'm a gopher for a local artist I really appreciate. He's a cool dude. And so that's kept, medicine for my pup, old boy Gary. It's kept that moving. It's kept dog food going, right? Animal food, period. Chicken food, cat food. It helped take some of the brunt of the actual bills, month bills. So again, I'm doing better than I could be. Those weights aren't fun to deal with. But everybody deals with things like that. Holiday depression is also kind of setting in a little bit. I have made some efforts to alleviate some of it, which has been good. To define that, I started really working to clean out my parents' bedroom and get shit moving, but I need a buddy to help move the mattress out, and then I can break down the bed frame, and then that space will have enough room to take time and move things and turn it into something I can use. I've sat on that for a while because there's a lot of I would hope people could understand a lot of emotional baggage in that space. So I'm trying to do that so that this season where there's a lot of again, emotional baggage, let's just go from line to line, right? I can utilize it to move forward. No thank you on this. That'll work. So that I'm trying to tackle that. Once I get the Jack figures primed, it's kind of easy to get those out, and I think I would love to get those out by Christmas. Just so that there's another step forward. I've got sketch cards, except for the ones I need to do, that's another thing I could be doing. that I'm just wholly intimidated by right now. It's not that bad though. There were some neat talks behind the scenes about Jack's future that I hope produce something come next year, but that's again patience. There's not much. What I can do for Jack right now is those artistic hands on deck kind of shit, which has been rough for me to do. Um, but I'd be lying to say if I couldn't be doing them. I could very well be doing them. Playing some music, which has been good for the soul. Working on a tone I like, right? Been chasing that for years. Just kind of went with whatever was there and finally figured out kind of how I want to dial that in, which is nice. It doesn't have much of a point except for my own personal satisfaction and artistic expression and just release and relief because I love playing music. But yeah, I was gaming a lot there for a while, and it's been less the last few days. In fact, last week it's been a good chunk less. But yeah, started Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's had a hell of a frustrating time with that game, man. It is as frustrating as life, and it's what it's trying to do, which is nice. In Cyberpunk, I got a little bit further. I think I could be close to finishing Cyberpunk. But not there yet. Just want to catch folks up. I have not, for a good chunk of time, the folks who were doing my fulfillment over at Wicked Publishing, the individual particularly who was doing it was out of contact for a while. Oh, come on. It's a good track, but no. There we go. And so that made things a little bit more difficult on the catch up, but we should be okay on domestic orders for the actual books. Those should all be out domestically, which is great. I don't know how many books still need to go off the top of my head. I don't know how many books still need to go out internationally. My hope is when I get settled into whatever it is, whether it's a new rut just to make some money to survive, or if it's something I can enjoy and grow in and actually appreciate for a while. My hope is I can start trickle feeding the domestic orders, and then once all the books are out, I can focus on the posters, the standees, the metal bookmarks, those extras. I want people to have the books. That's like my number one priority. I want people to have everything, and if you want to put that, that's a priority, but how I need to break it up to get it done. Otherwise, been taking care of my animals. A couple months after my dad passed, so it's going to be 3 years here in January. So again, these are a rough couple months for me, folks. So I'm hoping I can kind of glide by them and just be patient with myself and everything. There was light earthquakes around here, which is not very common around here. We are or were, millions of years ago, a very, and not too long ago as well, a very volcanic area. We've got tons of volcanic rock in here. There's a couple inactive, or I guess they even call them active volcanoes, but they aren't erupting, right? I'm no geologist, so I can't break that into bits. But anyway, we had a couple shakeups the year my dad passed, and he and I, when we moved here, had placed these tiles for the front porch and stuff. And anyway, the ground had sunk and shit had messed up those tiles, and I had been living with that for a while. So, a day or two ago, I had made some efforts to kind of make it better, because it looked like hell. But I made some more direct efforts recently, and it's better. It's one of those little things, you make a little bit, like the trees I ended up having to cut down because I didn't take care of them. Little things like that. again, that's I named this stream for patience is key, so I'm trying to be patient. I'm getting older. The world is getting, I don't know. You kind of think you'll get a better grasp as things go on, and I think you do. But part of that better grasp is understanding how little is actually individually relevant, and how heavy the stuff that is still relevant and you emphasize towards and hurts, and how much that stuff that you just kind of gotta wade through because there's not much you can do about it, personally. It's part of the journey, right? The quote I like where it's like, give but don't let it empty you. That kind of perspective. So anyway, it's that time of year where things are going to be harder. A lot of these are going to be less than super uplifting, but I think they're important to do anyway, even if it's just for me. It's just one day at a time, one breath at a time. I'm not guaranteed any certain amount of them either, which always, it frustrates me because it's like, well, you've got time. Well, do I? I don't know. You have to have faith that you have time. That's just one of those aspects of faith that whether people actually have quote-unquote faith or not, they still have that coping mechanism of faith in the next day, right? There's something kind of special about that too. But yeah, got more of a framework of what I want Jack 5 to achieve as well. There's an aspect of it that I didn't really consider that I really like. So I've been thinking on that. I think I want to write that here soon. And then if it takes another, 2 or 3 years to actually come out, that would suck. But be good if it's done. So I'm excited for it. It's an important issue. It's the issue. And I'm still trying to figure out, I would like to maybe frame it as a graphic novel instead. Do at least the 64-page deal. Do 2 issues at once. But then I look at what it would actually cost to achieve that. There's a couple ways to reframe it. And you bounce these ideas, but I'm not even through Jack 4 yet. So all of these different weights is just like, well, yeah, you should think about this, but you can't do anything about it yet. And I got to worry about survival right now instead of art. It's not the greatest time for me right now. It should be a breather and a vacation from what I was doing before, because that work was so difficult. And I'm still carrying it, and I would like to let it go, and that's been rough. I don't let things go easy. And so combined with the season, acknowledging my failures while not letting them defeat me, it's not a fun time. But anyway, I'm here, I'm doing these things. I will continuously move forward, whether or not I want to, and I do, because being stuck in the now will not be fun. I tried to get some other projects up and moving, and they seem to have they got stuck in some they got stuck on the other end of the reciprocation, because everything's kind of I'm going to use the term cooperative, and that works, but I was going to say words not coming to me. That's going to bug me. Comics is a blank medium, and I can't, the word isn't coming to me. collaborative. That's the word, collaborative. Everything's collaborative. And one thing that was going to come up that could have been helpful didn't go anywhere. And then it had another version of it that, would have been nice, didn't go anywhere. Passed something to somebody who actually checked it out, was excited, and then it didn't go anywhere. Had somebody actually reach out for commissions, and I checked out kind of what they want to do, and it doesn't resonate with me one bit. So on my end, it didn't matter. I did not want to force that, which sucks because I would still like to do some creativity for a paycheck, but I could not. It's not my wheelhouse whatsoever. New creator roundtable Saturday. I'm hopeful we'll have some new guests, but if it's the same guests, either way, it's going to get done this Saturday. I need it to happen. I've skipped it 2 weeks in a row now because of how rough things have been around me, so I'm hoping things will be better by that time. We did do the first to walk with giants, so I'm excited to continue those. It'll be the Sunday after this coming one. Those have been fun. Just setting up for that and the expression of it, just kind of figuring things out. First one was a little rough, but it did show kind of where things need to be fixed, which is the point of the first go, I think. Same with the Creator Roundtable, right? Same bit. So those are fun. I just, the other bit is well, now you have, with these collaborative streams, you have to hold yourself accountable because other people hold you accountable as well. And that's nice. It's just I have a tendency to take on too much responsibility for what I'm actually capable of at the time. I'm a little worried that those have that feeling to them alongside everything else I'm kind of dealing with now. It is what it is. I think they're good things, and I think it's good to stretch and flail a little bit when you feel like you're drowning, because if you don't do anything, you sink a lot faster. I'm trying to be patient with everything myself, and as long as I keep stretching and trying and reaching out, I think things will be okay. Again, I have to have faith. They might not be. I have to accept that, but sure would be swell if they are. Been watching and trying to learn. From everything. What I'm watching, reading, life. Watching other creators. That's just a lot. Watching other creators. I'll just phrase it that way. I think that's the easiest way to be, because there's some really cool stuff and there's some not so cool stuff. Been eating better. I've started trying to do part of why I did that patio, putting the big satio. Well, that's not satio. What is it? Chunky tile. I'll call it bricks, basically, right? Picking those up, moving them, putting more dirt in the ground and other stuff to make it a little bit more even. Doing that, it's physical labor. Running with the dogs, hanging with them, running around, because I think the physical bit is the other thing that's hitting me hard. Because when I work, basically every job I've ever done keeps me engaged physically, standing, moving, bending, lifting, running, whatever, right? And I think that took a big hit as well, so that's messed with my mindset. And then the significantly smaller food budget. Though it's been good, because I've lost some weight because of it. I'm not eating as healthy as I was. I'm eating less, which is good, but I'm also not eating as healthy because just can't afford the same food. that's been painful. Uh, yeah, week after week, we'll see how things go. I'm hopeful some traction somewhere finds I find some traction somewhere in something that will. It does. I don't even need much. That's the thing too. Is very blessed to be in a position where I don't need. It'd be great to have a lot so I could finish Jack. Right. It'd be good to have a gig that pays a lot, or even that's just a lot of work and pays okay. Right. Then just suck it up for a while and do that. Gotta be something I can accept and won't walk off the job. That's been rough. Trying not to accept something I don't want to, and then have something I do want appear, but you can always leave, right? It sucks, and it's not the greatest thing to do to people who actually give you a chance, but I gotta keep that in mind as well. It's like you might just need something temporary to get by. And that's been rough. That's been rough. And I also know a lot of people don't really care for this stuff, right? Like, I've kind of accepted that this channel and these streams aren't ever going to be like much of a thing. That is kind of just a diary for me, and that's okay. I've had to reframe it that way because, you know, if I had any other expectations for it, by this point they would have crushed me. There's no growth. I can't make the content that people really like chew up. I can't make it at the frequency in which people would chew it up. I can just be me, and I can film that. And you know what? That's fine with me. I think it's good for me. And I do still think it's important to have this space where people can reach out live if they have any issues. They can interact with me as a human being and a person instead of a wall of text or what have you. I think that's important. Just for that possibility to exist, even if it's not like utilized. Yeah. It's gonna be rough for a while, folks. I knew it was gonna be as soon as this last gig ended. And I'm still grieving over it and heartbroken about it. I'm trying to work through it and let it go, but like it's taken a while. Taking a lot longer than I thought. I mean, I've had dreams involving it still. That's frustrating. I mean, the whole situation's frustrating. It's a perspective on how society treats lovely living beings. It's rough. Trying to figure out, oh, is there anything I can still do about it? It's like, well, you know, there are things, but then that you keep forcing yourself into that environment and you can't do enough or any more or what you used to. It hurts. I've done that a couple times now. It just did not work. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm moving forward. You know, whatever. It is what it is. Appreciate people's patience. Do this for me, but anybody who actually checks it out, appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Have I read any comics? Oh, here. I usually tear through these when they come out a lot quicker, but did not yet. Oh god, it's gonna cut it. The AI is gonna cut it. Right there, boom. One Piece 104 came out. Big fan of One Piece. I have the whole series up till this. This just came out, right, in English. Chapter 1051 I'm on. It's finally, hopefully, getting close to finishing the Wano arc. I think Luffy just beat Kaido, is what I read. It took long enough. It's good. I didn't tear through this, though, as I thought I would, but it's kind of how sitting down and reading has also been rougher. Yeah. I don't think I've read anything else. I've got a huge stack of indie comics I need to sit down and I need to get enthused about a lot of things again. Tricking myself to do that's been rough. So instead of tricking, again, I'm trying to be patient and just letting things shake out. But yeah, that's what I've read. It's always impeccably paced. Super fun characterizations. There's a wonderful... Basically, the ending pages of 2 chapters in a row of this had wonderful like imagery and message. Basically, as Luffy beats Kaido, right? Trying to reinforce these ideas that he's been presenting basically the whole Wano arc, right? But Wano is taking forever. Out of all the arcs, but then again, also it feels like it's taking forever because I was able to binge nearly everything else to do with One Piece, so having to wait for these every couple months to come out is rough. So every time one comes in, I'm super stoked, but at the same time, like, now I gotta wait till March. So I'm trying to savor it a little bit. I am halfway through it, but it moves forward 5 to 10 minutes at a time. It always feels like it's far more bingeable as a series. In fact, it encourages it. And I think that's what if there's one really good thing about its length as a series, it's how bingeable it is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I jumped on lately. I think I talked about the last stuff I read last go. The latest English release, Spy X Family, was wonderful. It really leaned into its heavier themes, which it has every right and ability to do, which is incredible. Particularly the theme, the thematic surrounding war. It's very good at that, alongside its wonderful comedy. Fun family dynamic and strong characters and stuff. I can't recommend Spy Family enough. And then Blame. I have a hard time saying I read it, but I read it. It's very visual. It's one of the most visual pieces of sequential art I've ever read. Very little narration. In fact, no narration basically, except for sometimes setting, I think. And very little dialogue. It's all visual storytelling, basically. It's like 90% visual steps, just storytelling. There's an indie graphic novel called Wolf and Crow I've been working through for months now. It just didn't resonate with me. It's not very long, and it's beautiful. Watercolor art, caveman kind of stuff. Interesting thematics. The characters just nothing within it was like pulled me and could drive me all the way through it. So I've been working through it. I think I'm close to its end. A couple betrayals and murders and things, and that's not always my favorite type of storytelling either. To speak of something with a similar setting, Tukey by Jeff Smith. Of course, he's a master storyteller, so comparing this indie guy to Jeff Smith is unfair. But similar setting, caveman times, all that. Jeff made it more engaging with the characters and the designs and the pacing. I think it's the pacing that's been really rough with that, actually. Had watched a couple interesting things. I watched Unicorn Warriors Eternal from Tartakovsky. That was really good. The Tezuka meets Fleischer kind of art style never completely gelled with me, but when it worked really, really, really well. There were moments I was like, oh, that's killer. And of course, the fluidity of the animation and the story by Tartakovsky's incredible. Will always be one of my most powerful artistic influences and goalposts. His work's incredible. So I was glad that was good. I'm hoping it does get a second season. I don't know if it will, but it was really good. Built up massive stakes and paid them off pretty damn well. Very strong characters, great at fluid animation, all that. That was good. I watched Metalocalypse, the Doomstar Requiem or whatever it's called, the finale to Metalocalypse, which has been, God, over a half a decade coming, I think. I could tell Brendan Small had kind of stepped back out of making Metalocalypse. Not out of Deathclock, he's been touring and playing the music and all that, but out of Metalocalypse a little bit. You can feel that throughout it. It's good. He still cobbled together something really good, but you can tell it was cobbled together. You can tell his whole heart wasn't there as much as it's like, well, thank you for allowing me to finish this, fans. Right? Like, that's basically its entire thesis. Which is an odd thesis, but it's good. It worked. Enjoyed that. A lot of YouTube documentary stuff. A lot of angry video game nerd just for the background. Stupid. Like, it's very easy to shut my brain off. I appreciate that. And then gaming. So I've been spending my time trying to de-stress and breathe while working forward and trying to find footing, while taking care of things, while trying not to let stress completely win. Yeah, it's been a hell of a go. So I'm trying to be patient. Learned, I don't know, about a third to half of Sweet Emotion on bass, which is that's a fun track. Tom Hamilton, Aerosmith, right? Relearned a good chunk of Rocket Queen, Guns N' Roses. I've spent hours and hours trying to dial in a tone I can really appreciate between my two 15 PV amps. That's been fun, and figuring out a compressor, which has been cool. Compressor pedal. Figuring out how to dial in the distortion pedal I have, how I like it, that it's not too ugly and too much like a guitar, while still having the edge and clank and sound I like. Did my first painting, which was very emotionally cathartic. I gotta do another one soon. Taking care of the pups and loving and rubbing and kissing and hugging and running and rolling and reinforcing, protecting and appreciating them every day. So yeah, things are moving forward. I just want to be here and catch up once in a while. That's what this does. So I'm sure this will be good. I'm sure it'll finish and I'll be like, oh, okay, 5 more minutes have passed. But these were, this has some finale and it's going to starting the whatever the next storyline is here soon. I'm sure. Feels like it. So I'm excited for One Piece to kind of move on from where it's been for how long it's been for me. That'll be nice. Because I'd like to do that for myself too. I'd like to move forward from where I've been for so long, and there's just a few things that I can't allow myself to forget until they're done with, right? So yeah, I guess I could call it there, folks. It's nearly an hour. If anybody had shown, I would be willing to dive into. I had a couple promotional threads running on Twitter, as I tend to do here and there. I would have went through some projects and talked about them and stuff, but when it's just me talking to the microphone, is going to end up kind of like a diary, right? A journal, a vlog, as they call it, a video vlog. And that's fine. I need these here and there just to... Thoughts are very nebulous and full of energy, right? Just massive amounts of potential while they're kicking around your head and you're just thinking about them. But if you can apply words, and not only words to voice, thought to word to voice, it shrinks them a little. At least internally, it shrinks them a little. It gives them a substance that can be more easily grasped, and is a little less intimidating. So that's one of the things that this platform allows me to have, which is great. But it serves its purpose pretty quickly. I could keep talking about the hard things, and I have every right to. This is my platform. But I know also if anybody turns in, they hear the tone of my voice, and they hear what I'm talking about, it's a turn off. And so I try and balance that a little bit, but Aaron, I'm like, nah, this is my platform. Do what I want to do with it. That was a good track. So yeah, I think I will. We'll call. We're about an hour. I don't really have much else to chat about. No big successes or movement in IronVerse at the moment. Good to have the talks I'm having, which may bear fruit next year, but no rush there. Yeah. Been appreciating the two stories I've been really engaged with, which is Kingdom Come Deliverances, which is medieval Germanic history, right? It's a revenge. It's very standard in a lot of medieval tales. I like that kind of how stock it is because it allows it to really be vibrant. Reminds me a lot of Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which is nice too. Except the combat system is unbelievably frustrating in some good ways and some bad ways. It is very janky, but in some good ways and some bad ways. And then Cyberpunk, and it's just funny that both are dealing with negative authority and dealing with that. One, the Kingdom Come Deliverance is dealing with it in you're becoming what you view as positive authority, right? Nobility, very built-in caste system in medieval Europe, right? The Holy Roman Empire in particular is what you're dealing with. In a very specific period in the Holy Roman Empire that wasn't great. But using that to actually further your status, and then you can do good with it, right? Not always. It's an RPG, right? But you can do good with it, which is interesting. Whereas Cyberpunk 2077, it's it's a lot of cesspool of corporate nastiness that you wade around in, and it's just facts of life, right? It's kind of similar with Kingdom Come in that there's a lot of nastiness that's just facts of life. Even now, there's a lot of nastiness that's just a fact of life, and I don't know. Find it interesting how similar they are with looking back to the past or looking out to a future, right? It's interesting. And the stories they tell and how they're telling them have been really, really interesting and enjoyable for what they are. So I hope I'll get further through those. It's one of the few things right now that's been good for the soul. Besides these wonderful critters, I got one cat sleeping right next to me right now. The pups are outside right now. It's a little shitty today. The weather's been nicer than it should be for November, which is worrisome. At the same time, I didn't really want winter to come. So it's been good in its way too. yeah, I'm sure I'll catch up with you folks again soon. At the very least, Saturday I will be hosting another Creator Roundtable. I'm not sure who the guests will be. I'm hoping I can round up 3 folks. It might be a similar 3 folks as the last one, which not my goal, but we need to do this one. So if people will grace me with their time, it don't matter. I still would rather have it be more of a revolving door, so it's not always the same perspectives. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I appreciate anybody who's watched an hour of this. Yeah, I don't think so. Anybody who stops in and catches this at the end for whatever reason, thank you. How did I phrase this? This is a good track. No, it's about this, but yeah, that was neither of them really fit quite to this. But anybody who engages with this, I appreciate it. Your time is limited, and even spending a little bit of it on my goofy, often feels like self-pity bullshit stream. I appreciate it. It's not always that. I think there is some good to it, but yeah. Anywho, I appreciate you folks greatly, and I will catch you later on. Maybe later today I'll do some more gaming streams or something. There's certain days where I feel like I can do it. I did a good chunk of Dark Tide's new update just a couple hours ago. I started that. Couldn't really. I mean, there was some difference, but I don't know. I had fun, so I might do something like that again. Can't do the other games though that I've been playing because too graphically demanding for my streaming setup. Disappointing, but is the truth. So yeah. Anyway, anybody who checks this out at the end, thank you so much for just stopping in. The views are appreciated. As much as I'd like to do more with this channel in terms of like content that could be successful, the only thing I'm thinking of is that Creator Roundtable. This is just kind of my space. It's something for me to explore and experience and share with some folks if they stop by, but it's very selfish in nature, and I'm okay with that. So anyway, yep, appreciate you folks. Adios amigos. Vaya con Dios. And catch you later on. I don't like that. See what I can do with this, because I think I'll just run a track. Usually I run like one of the trailers, right? For Jack, or Cactus, or it was the Recluse there for a bit. I still think that's not like the worst. Oh yeah, you can't even see it anymore. There's something better to do with these ending titles, I'm sure. But I think I just want to run like a track. So let me add a media, that. Go to add existing. Yeah, I think I'll run this track. Alright, adios amigos, love you. Can you